Hey, good morning everyone, it's Gary here, and today I want to show you one simple trick to becoming a better coach. And I got my assistant here, Augie, with me. Let's see if we can get her in the picture. Augie, come here. Okay, sit. Augie, sit. Augie, stay. And come. It's really that simple, isn't it? If you want to be a good coach, just got to think about what it's like training a dog. Or really, it's kind of like coaching a kid, isn't it? Augie, come. The key is we got to give them simple commands. We have to show them what we need to do, and that's the key, is to show them what to do. You know, I see these people sitting around and they have their dogs misbehaving, they're not doing what they want, and they sit there and talk to the dog. And you're looking at them going, what do you think? That dog understands you? But the dog does react to them. It looks at them, cocks their ears, turns their head, or cocks their head, rears back their ears, whatever. But you've seen it before. You know, dogs hear the words, but that doesn't mean they understand the concepts. Now, on the other hand, if you want to have a well-trained dog, or, you know, a simply trained dog, all you have to do is show them. You know, you drag them around by the leash for a couple weeks until they understand what the concept of come is. You push down on their butt a little bit till they understand that sitting is a good thing. And what stay means, right? It's just that simple. You give them some reinforcement when they do what you want. You correct them when they do something you don't want them to do. So really, if you think about kids and dogs, I'm not sure a dog isn't just a little bit less intelligent kid, or actually sometimes after watching my teenagers go through those years, maybe a little bit smarter than kids. But coaching and training, it's pretty much the same thing, isn't it? The thing is, how many people will go to the game, they'll explain something to the kids will look up at them and nod and smile like, yeah, I got it, coach, I got it. And then immediately go out in the game and do the same wrong thing again. That's because they really don't have it. You know, they hear the words, they're cocking their head, they're looking at you, they may be wagging their tail, but they have no clue what you're talking about. You have to show them what you actually mean, what you want. And then suddenly, they do exactly what you want. And when they do what you want, you give them positive reinforcement, they do more of what you want. These kids are smart. Dogs are smart. It's the coaches and the owners that need to do a better job of training, of demonstrating, of showing what you want. And the only way you ever are going to show them what you want in a game scenario is to show them video of themselves in a big game scenario. There's no other way. You can't just explain something to them. You can't go back 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 2 minutes, 30 seconds even, and try to explain with words what they should have been doing. They just don't get it. Sure, you're going to get them to nod at you. You'll get them to smile at you. You'll tell them, they'll even tell you they understand what you mean. But until you show them, they just don't. Let me give you a great example. How many times have you told a kid a command, a simple command in your head? You know, like get higher, get mark up, move over, you know, whatever it is, fill the space. And then they do something randomly, right? They just move. They don't really know what you mean. They just move. And then you say, no, go the other way. And then they move another random direction. And they keep moving in random directions until they finally get it. Okay, that's because they never really understood what you wanted. They're just moving because they know that you're telling them to do something, so they do something. But they don't know what you mean. At the end, they finally get it right, but, you know, did they really understand it? Probably not. The next time you yell that same command, they're going to do that same routine of random movement until they finally get in the right position. You tell them, yeah, that's it. Okay. If you want to have a dog that'll follow you, that'll listen to you when you say sit, when you say stay, when you say come, you have to demonstrate to them what come means. You have to put them on a leash. And when you say come, kind of pull them towards you. Now all of a sudden, I'm not really sure why they're being dragged towards you the first couple times. But after a while, they get the hint and they say, okay, look, when that guy says come, I need to go towards him. And pretty soon it becomes second nature because you've showed them over and over. When you take game video of these kids and you show them, look, you're on the wrong side. You're not on ball side. That's why you're not getting passes. You're not on goal side. That's why that guy made that score and was able to get past you. When you show them and you do it in a repetitive way, suddenly these kids start to get smarter. You know, their brain starts to click that, oh, when the coach yells out goal side, that means I'm not between the opponent and our goal, and I need to get there. When the coach yells out ball side, I need to get on the other side of my defender, otherwise I'm not going to be in position to collect that pass. So all these things just need to be shown to these kids, and you start to show them the basics, and pretty soon, you know, they look like they're pretty smart players, right? Just because they know a lot more than your general average purpose player. The same way people seem to be impressed by the ability to get me, for me, to get my dog to sit when I say sit. Augie, sit. Sit. That's a good girl, good girl, good girl. Okay, go on. It's that simple. My dog doesn't do any stupid show tricks. I won't even know how to get her to do all those fancy stuff, but you don't need to. It's the same thing in soccer. You don't need players out there doing fancy rainbows and bicycle kicks. What you need is having them in the right position. You need them to understand that when that right side striker is moving up the line with the ball, where they have to be in order to collect that crossing pass. Why they have to sprint to get up there, because that ball is coming across. It's inevitable, and it happens over and over again. Yet you still see these same players making the same mistakes, doing the same wrong things, being out of position the same wrong way. And it doesn't help to tell them because they don't get it. Again, let's go back to the dog. You can explain things to your dog, but they don't get it. You know, and that's why these dogs just keep tearing things up, shredding things, not listening, jumping on people. They just have no clue what that owner is trying to explain to them because they haven't really showed them what they wanted. I see these forum posts all the time talking about, hey, how do I create drills and activities in practice that will simulate what they're not doing in the game? Well, that's like trying to train a dog, you know, how to do one activity somewhere and then try to transfer that in a dissimilar way to something else. It doesn't work. It doesn't make any sense. Kids don't have that grasp of conceptualizing that in a small-sided game. If I'm doing this, then I need to transfer that into a full-size game. If we're doing 2v1s, if we're doing, you know, small goal, pug goal type attack, retreat, defend, press, etc. Well, those all work great for individual skill building, but they do nothing for actual game strategy. It does nothing because it's not the game. You know, if you want to get your kids to do something in a game, the simplest way to get them to do it is record the game and repetitively go over it with them and show them game after game, time after time, event after event, what you want them to do. And the kids that are doing it, of course, you compliment them. You give them that positive reinforcement. And I guarantee they will do it again and again and again. They'll do it more because those kids like that acknowledgement. They like that compliment in front of their group. Conversely, when people are doing something wrong, well, you've got to stop it, right? And it doesn't do any good to tell them what they're doing wrong because in a human's mind, we don't want to think that we're doing something incorrectly. You have to show it. They have to see it. They have to understand it. They're not going to believe they're doing something wrong until they see it. And then you explain to them why it's wrong. Because if they thought they were doing something wrong, well, they wouldn't have done it. But because they think it's the right thing to do, they do it one time and they're going to do it again and again and again until you take an effective strategy through demonstration, through visualization, and show them what they're doing wrong. You have to train their brain. You have to make them smarter. So there's three parts of every soccer player, isn't there? There's the game strategy. That's where you need video. There's the individual skills, and that's where you need technical skills building type activities. And then there's the actual game, you know, where they're running around, kicking the ball, passing the ball, working as a team, moving as a unit. That's three corners of the development triangle. If you're not developing the brain, if you're just focused on let's get out there and scrimmage or let's just do technical skills, well, you're just not developing a complete player. So it's a simple strategy. If you want better teams, if you want better players, and you're not training their brain, you better start doing it now. Because I can tell you from firsthand knowledge that the rate of take-up, in other words, the number of people signing up to programs like Soccer Pro to get their visualization, to get the video taken, marked up, analyzed, and taught to these kids is growing exponentially. I mean, the rate of growth is just exploding. The coaches doing this now are going to be the leaders. The ones that aren't doing it, well, they're either going to justify it somehow and hope that they can hold on long enough to retire, or they're just going to see players migrate away from them. The programs are changing. The development is changing. It's advancing just like it has in every other sport. So if you want smarter players, if you want better players, if you want to win more games, you got to complete the development triangle. Do the skills building, do the brain training, and of course the traditional field training. And you know, look how simple it is. I just stand here, the dog follows along. Your players will do the same thing. Your players will follow along with your program when they understand it. When they don't understand it, you get to keep repeating yourself and watching them make the same mistakes. All right, anyhow, I think I've said enough. I think I've made my point, and I'm going to finish my hike and throw the ball a few times for this dog and let her go chase after it. All right, this is Gary with Soccer Pro checking out, and I hope you have a great 2020 and win more games. Bye now. And of course, finishing up with the most important part. Okay,